Hi guys, I'm Sharonda Isadora and this is Brazen Babe Reviews. And today I will be doing a book recap on Ante Up by Christina St. Jones. So let's get this started. Alright, so not unfortunately, it took me a while to get through this one because I just don't know why. It's been a crazy week, and I finally finished this one up yesterday, which I'm just really happy about because the book was good. It was really good. Just before I even start, I'm going to rate this one 5 stars on Goodreads because it was just that dang on good. But you know, I love Christina C. Jones writing. I love her books. I haven't read a book by this woman yet that I have not liked. I just love her writing style. I love that she keeps her black characters authentic. You know what I mean? There's no false pause with these characters. There's no fakeness with these characters. These characters are black as black. They're just the best. Rather they're rich, rather they're poor, rather they're middle class, they're just these authentically real ass characters that are, quite frankly, very relatable, you know, and that's what I dig about her writing. So this is it's just great. I'll show you guys the cover and then we can get into this review. So just to give you a little bit more, this is your actual cover. I read this on I also drop it somewhere in the video as well so you can see it. Usually I'm on my balcony doing these reviews, but it's very loud out there. There's like morning traffic and all these damn trucks keep riding by. You probably can hear some of a little bit, you know, outside my bedroom window, which is just like blah. I'm still trying to get this apartment together, so I don't quite have my living room and my dining room together yet, so I'm not going to be doing any reviews or recaps or talking about nothing up in there until I have that cute enough. My room I'm still fixing up too, but it's better looking than the living room and dining room at this moment. so anyway, let's get to this recap. All right, so I got this is the Kindle format of the book that I have. This is the first book in her High Stakes series. Your characters are Kingdom, which I love that name. I mean, ain't nothing else coming up out of here, but you know, if I ever have a kid, no. What am I talking about? No, Sharonda, no. I'm never having another kid again. I'll get one of my nieces or one of my sons, like if they ever have kids, to be like, name your son. If they have a boy, name your son Kingdom. Like, I love that name. It's just like badass. Anyway, so your characters are Kingdom and Asha. And the story is set in Vegas, right? So Asha has a not so good life coming up. Kingdom is she's not like, Asha isn't like poor, but she's like your everyday, you know, working class woman. You know, she has her I'm about to say high school diploma. She has her college degree, but like with most times, you know, you get your college degree and you're not able to find a job that you want. You know, you go into these corporate jobs and they're just not paying you what you need to get by every day. So she quits that job and starts to work at this casino, which is owned by Kingdom's family in Vegas. Kingdom comes from money, but he's a real ass dude. Like, just, child, I was just like, ooh, ooh, girl, there was some scenes in the book I was like, girl, you better get you something and cut it out. Let that man do what he wants to do, what he got to do. I'm trying to find my notes. I hate the way Kendall did this goddamn update. Like popular highlights. Is that my notes? Okay. Popular highlights. Just keep it at notes, like, or just keep it at bookmarks. Like, why y'all always updating shit? Like, leave this shit alone. So anyway, that's what I'm gonna go by. I'm gonna go by what I highlighted in the you know, as I was reading. This is a really quick read. It just took, like I said, it just took me some days to finish it because I had a whole lot of, like always, I have a whole lot of shit going on most of the time. So you know, it is what it is. But this is really a quick read. You will get through it. The story is just the story is great. It's a good story. And if you have the time to sit down and read this book in a day, you most definitely will. Generally, when I don't have a whole lot of shit going on with me, it generally takes me about, you know, a day or two to finish a book, depending on how jarring the story is. This was a good ass story. So I actually finished this yesterday, and since it's slow for me at work, I was actually reading some of this shit while I was at work. So there's that too. So again, let me get back to the characters because I always get off point and shit. So, and I, you know, whatever. So again, Asha isn't like dirt ass poor, but she is struggling to get by. You know, she works at the casino, she makes good money, but she also has to take care of her mom. Asha and her brother and her mom comes from a very abusive background. The father was a drunk, he was a gambler, he was abusive towards the mother. I'm not going to give you too many details in the story because I do want you to go out and get this book because it's that good. But you know, something happens in Asha's past, and I'll talk about that later on as I go through my notes and stuff. But you know, they come from a very abusive past. So what Asha is doing, she's taking care of her mom. Her mom is remarried. She is remarried to a very nice guy. But, you know, again, they're middle class. The mom doesn't work because she has lupus. She doesn't work. So the husband does work. He works at the security guard where the mom gets her treatments from and stuff like that. But, you know, again, they're a middle class family. You know, they you know, they work, they live, they eat, but you know, it's a struggle, you know, with most Americans these days. And that's another thing I liked about the story, is that she just put some real things inside of this book, you know, as far as like, you know, people getting up, working every day, doing what they have to do, and you know, you still, you know, as much work and as much time as you put into these jobs and stuff like that, like you still don't have enough to do what you have to do. You know, with the mom being sick, you know, the husband is taking care of her, you know, Asha's taking care of her, she's helping her deadbeat ass brother. You know, her brother had a chance to go to the NBA, but he didn't. He got injured. He ended up in some bullshit, you know, throughout the story. And it just, you know, all of that ties into the story. But Asha has a lot of things going on. And also in this, she's actually saving up money to get inside this poker tournament. And I'll talk about that later on in the story as well. So give you a little bit about Kingdom. Like I said, Kingdom comes from wealth. Kingdom's family has built businesses in Vegas. They have these hotels, they invest, not hotels, they have these casinos, they invest in other businesses and things like that. But you know, they come from wealth. But the grandfather was it started working again. It's not working. My son broke my diffuser, so I see a little bit of steam coming out of it, whereas before a whole lot of steam was coming out of it. And I just bought this thing from Family Dollar for like 15 bucks. Oh, it is working. You can see the steam a little bit. I mean, it's a really pretty diffuser, and I have the lights like going it, you know, out of it or whatever. But you know, I thought he broke it, but I actually had to like let it sit out and dry like overnight. the steam isn't as prominent as it was when I first got it, but you can actually see the steam, which is okay for me. You can still see it. So, sorry, I got off point again. So anyway, like I said, Kingdom's family does come from wealth, come from money, but again, his family has deep roots in Vegas, so people know not to fuck with Kingdom or his family, even though they do legitimate businesses and stuff like that. That's not how they started off, but that's what they do now. You know, even though they do their legitimate business, people in Vegas know don't fuck with Kingdom and his family. So so you know, it was like that. And Kingdom was you know, that dude. He just wasn't he was an asshole. He was a little bit of a brute. He was a little bit brutish, which I kind of like. You know, I ain't gonna lie. I like a little brute in a man. You know what I mean? Girl's just something about it. But anyway, so yeah. So you know, that's that. So Kingdom and Asha end up meeting up through a one-night stand. At the time, Asha did not know who Kingdom was. She did not know that he actually owned the casino that she worked at. And you know, she was kind of like stressed out, going through some things or whatever. You know, she's trying to get this money up for this poker tournament to be in, and you know, she just needs like she sees Kingdom, you know, in this bar or whatever, and it's kind of like, you know, they both got them, you know, I want to fuck you faces, you know, going on with each other or whatever, and you know, they have this one night stand, and it's like mind blowing for both of them. And you know, later on, you know, they meet and they find out who each other are through some old bullshit. Asha pulled some bullshit, like when Kingdom was an asshole when he did what he did towards her, because it was like when they finally met up again, she actually was like serving drinks to like him and, you know, her boss, who works for Kingdom as well, and you know, and a couple of other dudes, and he did some old fucked up shit towards her, kind of like, you know, made it seem like instead of like just tipping her or whatever, he kind of like offended her in a way. And Asha is really good at playing her cards or whatever, and she ended up making him like lose like 40 grand. Like 40, I was like, when I read that, I was like, 40 grand, bitch, I would fire you too if you made me lose 40. Like yes, bitch, I have some money, but 40 grand ain't no motherfucking chunk of change. That girl, a girl. So it was kind of crazy. So she ended up, you know, she thought she was going to be fired, but she ends up back with her job or whatever. And you know, her and Kingdom have like this little clashing of sorts going on. Asha already has like trust issues, whatever, but throughout the story, I kind of felt like Kingdom's trust issues were a little bit more deeper than Asha's. Asha knew her past. Asha knew where she came from, and she was. I got the feeling that Asha wanted a relationship. She wanted someone to be in a relationship with, but because she came from such like abusive past, ended up being in a abusive type of relationship with her ex, I think she just kind of felt like, you know what, it is what it is. If I end up with somebody, I end up with somebody. If I don't, I don't. I got that. In my opinion, that's just how I kind of felt. Kingdom fell in love with his now dead wife, who committed suicide. Some shit was going down with her, and he found out, and he didn't like handle it the right way. They got married when they were young, so of course that happens. And you know, the wife ended up committing suicide, and Kingdom, and she was also pregnant at the time, and Kingdom just, you know, his trust issues went really, really deep. Like, I was just like, sometimes I was just like, dude, like, I get it, I got it, but, and his family was just like very, very protective of him as well, because when Asha ends up, I know I'm kind of like all over the place, but just, bear with me. I was going to go through my notes, but it's kind of like, as I'm talking, I'm kind of like remembering stuff as I go. So, again, bear with me. Asha ends up, the money she saved up to be in this tournament, and I'm going off point to get to where I'm about to go. Asha ends up losing the money that she saved up for the tournament because her brother was a fucking knucklehead, got into some trouble with a local drug dealer, and ended up, owing all this money. And Asha ended up, the money that she saved up for this tournament, she actually ended up, losing to pay off this debt for her brother. And this is the points that I'm drawing to is Kingdom's family was very protective of him after the situation, with his wife. And her portrayal and towards him and all this other stuff. So as Kingdom and Asha grow a little bit closer in the story, because they're once they decide that we in a relationship, but we kind of like ain't in a relationship, you know what I mean? So it's kind of like that with them. And Kingdom always, he has feelings towards Asha. He's starting to have feelings towards Asha, and vice versa. Asha is starting to have feelings towards him. But let me close my point. But Kingdom's family, like I said, Kingdom's family is very protective of him because of what happened with his ex-wife. So Kingdom always ends up doing things for Asha as they get closer. And one of the things that he did for her, because she lost his money to this drug dealer who also happened to have been her ex, he ends up getting his family's casino to sponsor her for this big ass tournament, that's coming up. And his family is kind of like, they want to do it because it's kind of like, and that was I love the way Christina kind of wrapped everything together, because his family wanted her to do it because it was kind of like, she's a woman and she's black and she's gonna pretty much be like this only black woman, in this tournament or whatever. So they want her in, but they're also very cautious of Asha because they know something's going on between her and Kingdom, which the sister was like, in one scene the sister was like really as offensive, and I would like, bitch, we can fight, fuck me proving that I could play, because bitch, I could play, but we could fight too. That's how I felt when I was reading the scene, because I was like, bitch, you is offensive, but okay, Asha handled it well, but girl, whew, anyway. So, it was kind of like that kind of scene. I was like, damn, like, wow, like, that's what we doing now? Like, what? No, girl, that ain't my ministry. That ain't my ministry. You gonna be offensive to me. Whew, I'm gonna have to be offensive back to you. That's just how we turn the favor sometimes. Anyway. So, his family knew that something was going on between him and Asha, but, they also wanted Asha to be in this tournament. So, Kingdom's having, like, this struggle, you know what I mean? Like, he's getting deeper and deeper into Asha, but he doesn't want to because of the situation that went on with his ex. And everybody is kind of like asking him questions. He's, I don't know, I don't want to have these feelings. I was like, nigga, man up. Like, come on. Like, man up. Like, and Asha was kind of a little bit of annoying too. And I got Asha's point, because Asha was like, listen, we're going to do this, if we're going to get serious, we're going to get serious. Like, don't be playing games with me. Like, don't be hot one moment and then, like, cold the next moment, because you're going through, your man moments. You know what I mean? Like, get over it. You know what I mean? So I got Asha on that point, too. But she was a little bit, like, Kingdom's just, like, Asha thing is, like, I'm always doing, giving. And when I do that, somebody always wants something in return. And I felt her so much on that, because that's how I feel sometimes too. Because it's kind of like, goddamn, like, I'm always doing. I'm always giving. Like, damn, when is somebody going to do something for me? Especially when this situation popped off with her brother, and she just was like done. And I was like, girl, I feel you. You hear me? Because I would have been like, I'm about to fuck you up. Like for real, I'm about to fuck you up. That's how I felt. Because I was just like, dude, like, how much trouble can you keep getting into? And then it was like one scene that she wrote in there. Like, the brother was just like, he was bugging the fuck out. Like, he had a girlfriend, long-time girlfriend. Then this dude was out here fucking another bitch. Got this girl pregnant, the side chick pregnant. And then, like, it was like one scene in the book, and he was like, you know, they was trying to like figure out, like, the hospital wasn't going, like, was basically kind of like putting the mother, you know, saying that they can't treat the mother anymore. And Asha's just like, I don't know what the fuck we gonna do. Like, we gotta pay this motherfucking drug dealer. And she was just like, I'm so over it. But the brother was like, this, y'all, men, they, like, sometimes when they talk, I just be wanting to just shut up. But this fool gonna say, oh, maybe I can talk the girlfriend into letting the pregnant side chick move in. Even Asha was like, are you stupid? Because I was like, wait, what? Like, huh? No. Like, you already got somebody pregnant, then you don't want the bitch to move in with us? Like, girl, that is a straight up storyline for Snap. Like, for real. Because I was just like, is he serious? But anyway, this situation with her mom ends up getting revolved. So anyway, like, let me close this up and bring this all together. So what happens is Asha ends up being in a tournament because of Kingdom's family sponsoring her to be in the tournament. The situation with her and the drug dealer ex-boyfriend, that's where the tension part of the story comes in, because, you know, the ex-boyfriend was an asshole. Basically felt like Asha owed him something, whatever, which, like, no, boo, she did not. You were a murdering asshole. So whatever you get, you got. You know what I mean? And because she had to pay this money back for the brother, he was kind of like holding that over her head. But with Kingdom stepping in, that shit was handled. So with that tension part of the story, you know, that's your tension part of the story. They kind of like go through this rigmarole with the whole situation, whatever. And this kind of like brings Asha and Kingdom kind of like a little bit closer. And what else was I thinking of? So Asha ends up, she doesn't win the tournament, but she does, you know, come in fourth place. She gets a little bit of money or whatever. Her and Kingdom, like towards the ending of the story, I kind of got like her and Kingdom are trying to like figuring out what they're going to do with this relationship. So I'm kind of like, to me there was closure, but it was kind of like, it wasn't happily ever after for now for me reading Ante Up. I didn't hear like I love you between them, but you get there are some strong feelings between Kingdom and Asha. And I mean, by the end of the story, you know, I was satisfied. I do have one issue, and that issue was Asha did something when she was younger, and I kind of felt like well, everything that was going on in the story, it was kind of like, I don't know, I kind of felt like that part of the story is kind of like brushed under the rug. If you read the story, you know, let me know what you think about that. Asha did something when she was younger that involved her father, and I just kind of felt like that part of the story wasn't complete. It was kind of like this big ass ball sitting in the middle of the not ball, but big ass rock sitting in the middle of the story or the road, you know, or whatever, and it's kind of like just there as the story is being told. And it's kind of like I felt like people were like walking around it, but when we got to the end of the story, I kind of felt like somebody, like, you know, just came, picked the rock up and just like put it to the side. You know what I mean? That part of the story wasn't wrapped up for me. It was incomplete for me. So I just felt like I just didn't feel like a completion to that part of the story with Asha and her father. It kind of felt like it was kind of like quickly, like, you know, just put to the side, you know, with everything else that was going on. It just wasn't a completion to the story with her and her father and what happened between her, you know, her and her dad, you know, Asha and her dad's part of the story. So I wasn't feeling that part of the story. Everything else was great. Again, this isn't like it's a happily ever after, but it's a happily ever after for now. Kingdom and Asha, I am assuming, are together. I kind of feel like maybe we'll get within the series, we'll get more of Kingdom and Asha's story, like, you know, where they're going to go from here. But for right now, they are together, they are happy, and Kingdom is still king and Asha is still Asha. And I really enjoyed the story. Like, I really like it was so much going on in it, and again, it was a quick read, and again, my only issue was I didn't feel like Asha and her father's story, I didn't feel like that was complete, but everything else was just kind of like, you know, great. The issue with her and her brother was wrapped up pretty nicely. You know, they end up solving the problem, you know, with the hospital, with her mom, and yeah. But Kingdom and Asha's relationship, I thought, was cute. It was funny. You know, they both had like these issues, whatever, but they kind of like, you know, stop this attraction for one another. And yeah, it was a great story. I loved it. It was really it was good. It was really good. So again, that is my book recap of Ante Up by Christina C. Jones. It is available in, of course, Kindle. I do believe it's available on but of course, it's available on your book buying channels. Add it to your Goodreads, TBR list. Just read it. Read it, bitches. Read it. Until the next one, later days. Bye.